Olá, pessoal. Boa noite para vocês aí do Brasil. 8 horas da noite de Brasília. Aqui em Toronto são 7 horas. Meu nome é Ian, eu sou diretor aqui da CI Canada. Eu e meu time estamos aqui atuando pela CI desde Toronto. Nosso objetivo, nosso grande foco do nosso time aqui é fazer a educação superior, universidades e colleges no Canadá. E hoje, atendendo a pedidos, nós vamos estrear nossas Masterclasses com um tema extremamente, vamos dizer, polêmico, atual, extremamente quente, porque ele está sendo discutido em todos os âmbitos, que é a inteligência artificial, né? A inteligência artificial, ela começou vamos dizer, a permear a nossa vida há pouco tempo até. Eu diria uns 15 anos, 10, 15 anos, começou a realmente ter um impacto bem forte na nossa vida e cada vez mais ela está presente. E existe uma série de especulações, né? O que é a inteligência artificial, na verdade, né? Como ela de fato vai moldar ou está moldando nossa vida, não apenas nossa vida como uma ferramenta, uma tecnologia, mas permear nossa vida até em aspectos culturais, em aspectos de produtividade, em aspectos econômicos, e principalmente o assunto que a gente quer conversar hoje, que é como a inteligência artificial vai moldar, está moldando o mundo acadêmico e as carreiras, né? O nosso público da CI sempre extremamente, né, envolvido e preocupado com questões, obviamente, acadêmicas, questões profissionais decorrentes disso. O que eu devo fazer? Quais são as implicações de uma inteligência artificial que está crescendo exponencialmente no dia a dia? Ela tem trazido aí muitas mudanças, mas como isso reflete, como isso se tangibiliza na vida profissional, na vida acadêmica, e como isso eu, que estou hoje no ensino médio, fazendo meu high school, estou procurando fazer, né, decidindo as minhas carreiras, ou eu hoje, que tenho uma carreira, estou desenvolvendo, me desenvolvendo profissionalmente, o que eu devo fazer? O que deve permear? Então, hoje nós vamos ter essa masterclass, né, de inteligência artificial moldando o mundo, sobretudo carreiras, e a questão acadêmica. E a gente trouxe um peso pesado, né? A nossa parceira, a Universidade de Ottawa, aqui no Canadá, a professora Branco, ela tem um PhD em Ciências da Computação na Universidade do Porto, em Portugal, e ela se foca majoritariamente no desenvolvimento e na pesquisa de inteligência artificial. Ela é professora assistente aqui na Universidade de Ottawa, na cadeira de Computer Science, né, de Ciências da Computação e Engenharia Elétrica. Então, a gente convidou a professora Branco para explorar esse assunto, né, trazer para a gente, não especulação, mas realmente conhecimento técnico e aprofundado que ela possui, para debater com a gente e explicar um pouquinho melhor como funciona, o que está acontecendo e trazer insights mais interessantes. Ela vai fazer uma palestra em inglês, né? Vocês podem, por favor, fazer perguntas a qualquer momento através aí da caixa de diálogo aí do YouTube, e que ao final a gente vai fazer para ela também. Aproveitem, qualquer questão que vocês precisarem, avisem para a tradução, a gente pode também trazer isso em português, e espero que vocês gostem. Eu vou convidar agora a professora Paula Branco para apresentar sobre inteligência artificial na carreira e academicamente também. Professora?
Hi, boa noite. Good evening to everyone. Let me just first start sharing my screen. Um, I'm not sure if this is the correct one. So
Yes,
is
it's
this,
uploading. Yeah,
this the correct one? Okay.
yes.
I was just hesitating a little bit here. So, thank you very much for the great introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to talk with everyone. And I know AI is everywhere, and sometimes even when we don't think it's there, it's still there, right? It's hidden many times. But so I've been working I'm a professor at University of Ottawa, I've been working in AI for many years now, and we do research in AI, and a lot of things that we can find that are really interesting things, and probably important for you to know and to see. So that's before I move to the next slide. Let me just mention that. Um, this presentation is a personal reflection on what AI is and how it's impacting us. It reflects my opinion. And I will also include a little bit of my research, my own studies, my case studies, my interactions with industry, with students, in the educational part as well. Okay, so then a big question is, what is AI? Really? So AI, and this is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. This is a definition there. You will find many, many different definitions, and they all kind of touch into this computers or computer-controlled systems that try to perform tasks that are commonly associated with intelligent beings. But many of these definitions actually touch on many different points, and they try to include tasks that include the ability of reasoning, discovery of meaning in data, generalization capabilities, or learning from past experiences. These are typical tasks that we include in artificial intelligence. So the core capabilities of an artificial intelligence system is that is able to learn from data. So data is an essential component. We need this data to learn. We need this data to build whatever system involving AI we need. So we needed to build recommendation systems. We needed to build predictions, forecasting. We need this data. And then we are going to use it typically to recognizing patterns. So we try to recognize information and patterns in the data, interesting patterns. We can make predictions with this data, and we can also generate new content. So there is all these generative AI aspects that we can also see. So essentially, AI will involve data, and then building some kind of model with it, and then using that model to answer whatever questions we have about the data. So you see the fact here is that the data that goes into the systems is very important. And what we see is that the data that we can feed into these models is growing. So the models tend to perform and seem to perform better as well. And then they can answer more questions. Also, our resources, our capabilities the computing capabilities are also increasing. So that means that we can actually ingest more data, generate larger models, and answer more questions. But it essentially involves all these components. So it's definitely not magic. It's data that uses particular computer science algorithms, machine learning algorithms, deep learning, all these big words, algorithms, and the computing power to actually generate these models. These algorithms are going to generate a model of the data, okay, that we then use to answer questions. So no, AI is not a brain. It doesn't think by itself. It's just data plus algorithms at a larger scale, and we are seeing this scale growing and growing. So what about AI today? So some years ago, I would say that many of you might be interacting with AI, but not knowing that they are interacting with AI without even noticing. But I think nowadays, everyone knows when they are interacting with AI, because everyone knows when they go and reach out to ChatGPT. So everyone knows these large language models. But so every AI is in many places, not just on ChatGPT, but also on Netflix recommendations, on Siri, Alexa, Google Maps. So it's really everywhere, and you can see it in many different places. You can identify it in many different places. The thing is, it's not just in these visible places that you can see AI and that you are actually interacting with AI. So in many cases, AI also exists behind the scenes. And this happens, for instance, when industries and companies are running fraud detection algorithms, and you get a notification from your bank saying, it seems something is wrong with your account. And this was an algorithm that actually detected that. This was an AI algorithm that detected a suspicious transaction. We use it for predictive maintenance. So predictive maintenance is, for instance, in a big company, we have works with metros. And we try to use the sensors to anticipate problems and to intervene in the problems before the problem happens. So this is AI as well working. Climate modeling, so getting better predictions, understanding better the climate and how it changes. Healthcare diagnostics, so they are everywhere. And the part of AI that looks into images, the vision, the computer vision aspects have evolved so much in the last year. So sometimes you might actually get a diagnosis or something from your doctor that actually went through a screening with an AI algorithm for a particular image. So it's running quietly as well in many different fields. So then the question is, how is it helping us? How is it helping us? And I think that the answer is obvious. It's helping us in many different aspects. So for professionals, it helps professionals making faster decisions, anticipate problems, the automation of repetitive work, managing schedules. So that can boost the performance and boost professional work a lot. It can also help it can also help students. So we can have a more personalized learning. We can have AI tutors. We can have we already have that, but grammar correctors or more sophisticated grammar and language and style correctors. So it's also helping in that aspect of learning. In healthcare, we already talked about this, early diagnosis, drug discovery. So it's in many cases, we want to understand how different substances can interact to have a particular effect, but there are so many combinations that AI can actually explore better those different combinations without running them all and direct the research on drug discovery. And this has been going on for several years now and very promising. It's very, very interesting as well. So at U Ottawa, we do have several examples of this that I've been working more closely with. I just want to give you a very, very small number of examples. So for instance, oh, sorry, I forgot finance and finance as well. So it's helping with fraud detection. I already talked about helping with detecting fraudulent transactions in credit cards, the trading. There are many algorithms that actually do trading, do this fast trading systems, the chatbots, financial forecasts, personalization. So it's everywhere, including in distribution and travel. So optimizing schedules, deliveries, navigation, routes. Okay, and now I'm going to give you my examples at U Ottawa, which are things that we have been some of these aspects that we have been touching a little bit. So one of the aspects I personally touched is on healthcare. For instance, we have been using newborn screening data to actually try to help the institute that does this rare disease detection in babies to do it faster, better, to improve their system. So this is AI as well working there. We also have some works in financial fraud, and we have actually worked with a company called H3M, and this means helping humans help machines, which is kind of a very interesting name. And they work with banks, they have a lot of clients, and we also help them develop a software to detect these fraudulent transactions. So this is a little bit of what I have been touching on, my students and my personal research. So So what does this mean in terms of how AI is going to affect careers and our roles? So we're moving towards a hybrid era. So I think humans are going to work, they need to work with AI systems. So there is no reason why we cannot work together with hybrid systems. So we will work, this is going to happen with doctors, already happens, with lawyers, with engineers, and that are going to work with AI assistants. So again, they are not replacing the humans. They are serving as assistants to scan medical images, to recommend a legal precedent, to help into suggest designs for engineers based on things that they have seen before. Okay, so what about new professions? So I do believe we are going to see a shift. So the careers are shifting into a more hybrid mode, but also shifting into new areas. We are going to need to take care of the problem of ethics. So ethics is something very serious. We really have seen a lot of cases where we have had issues with the part of the ethics from AI. We are going to see this new profession emerge more and more. We are going to have more particular specialists for fraud detection, for adversarial attack researchers, and we are going to touch a little bit on adversarial attacks in a few slides. So new aspects, new professions are going to emerge, as I see it, based on the things that we need to take care of related with AI systems, because they are not autonomous. They are not going to be fully autonomous because, again, they depend on the data, on an algorithm, and they are trying to answer the questions that we instruct them to. Okay, so what is our human role? There is always the part of the empathy, the ethics, the creativity, the context that they don't have, which are things that AI cannot replace. Okay, there are many aspects. The decision making on with doctors is going to always be on the human side. So in general, like to give you an overview as I see what is going to happen to the employees in terms of how they are going to, which skills they are going to need to have in the future, assuming we are going and we are already working a lot with AI, is we are going to they need to recognize their strengths, but also their limitations, understanding that it offers new perspectives, but should not be followed blindly. Okay, the human is there for that. So it needs to interact, it needs to use assistance, but it also needs to have this critical thinking about it. It's going to can be used to enhance emotional and ethical intelligence, including creativity, empathy, and systems thinking, while cultivating the ability to see new possibilities and ask better questions. So that AI can help us, and that's something that a new employee needs, skills that a new employer needs to have. And finally, it can leverage those AI tools to create more opportunities, to generate more knowledge, to answer new questions, than only focusing on efficiency gains. Okay, so that's how I see it. But so yes, there are careers that are going to benefit more and careers that are going to be more at risk. AI is creating this demand for new skills. So AI augmented careers where they are going to benefit. So all careers related with healthcare, law, finance, creative industries, cybersecurity even. So they are all growing. Okay, we still have in Canada, as far as I know, a lot of demand for cybersecurity experts and a few experts available. So it's still in very high demand. I don't think it's going to decrease. On the other hand, the things that are going to be affected are more automation prone. So all these jobs that are more suitable to be automated, they are more repetitive. So routine customer service, data entry, telemarketing, bookkeeping, all these kind of things that are more repetitive, AI can actually help a lot on that. But again, many jobs will evolve instead of disappearing only, so they will not just vanish. So the key here is really the reskilling. People need to have a different skill set for the future. So why are humans important? Well, because again, in healthcare, for instance, AI scans, AI can scan the X-rays, but then it's the doctor that needs to decide which treatment and decide if this interpretation of the image is correct. In law, the same thing. AI can find precedents, but then the lawyers and judges need to ensure fairness. For creativity, AI can generate many variations, but humans can actually add meaning and originality. So AI will only generate things based on things that they have seen before. In terms of customer services, yes, chatbots can help, but we have also seen some issues with chatbots happening. So humans need to handle sensitive cases. Humans need to be sure and need to maintain those chatbots and to handle empathy-driven cases as well. So humans will provide judgment, empathy, and accountability, and will need to surveil all these outputs from AI. So we're getting into a part that, of course, I keep saying that we need to surveil them. And why do we need to surveil AI? Because AI can be tricked, and it's easy to do it, actually. So in our lab, and I want to show you a few of some examples of what we have been doing. So this is a well-known example, and this is an image from a paper, and we know that this is a panda in this image. And the model with AI that generated this panda has a 57.7% confidence that it is a panda. Okay, so all good, all looks okay, correct. What we discovered, and this is coming from 2014, so almost, well, 10 years, more than 10 years ago. So we found out that if you add a particular type of noise on top of that image, but a very, very small amount of noise on top of that image, what's going to happen is that we generate this other image, which to us, humans, seems exactly the same. So it's still a panda, and I'm pretty confident that it is a panda. So what happens with AI is that this kind of noise that we added to the image that is not visible to us actually makes the same model that was confident that this was a panda now being confident that this is a gibbon or gibbon. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but 99.3 confidence that this is not a panda now. So this is the problem, right? So this is an easy way. This is the paper where this was published almost more than 10 years ago. So it is the reason why we need to be very careful, and there are new jobs and new things appearing with AI. So some of the challenges we have been resolving at UOttawa are a little bit related with this problem of how much trust we put on these AI systems. We have been looking into a part of our research that I really like, which is related with face verification systems. Okay, so sorry, before that, we're going to get that in the next slide. So we have worked with, for instance, with stop signs with a sticker that completely mislabeled just the stop sign into another speed limit sign. We have also worked with credit card transactions. I told you about this collaboration for detecting fraud in credit card transactions. So a slight change in that data can make a completely different prediction. We have also been working with diffusion models. I'm going to try to do this more quickly. We have also been working with diffusion models that can also be very tricky to generate certain images. So we have a student that has published this. Diffusion models are complex models that start to build new image. So they are part of generative AI from noise. So you see on the left 3 types of noise that seems very random. And what happens is that with a particular trick on that diffusion model, the first noise, which is clean, labeled as clean, gives what is expected, a clean cat, which is a cat. But then the small change on the second and third noise, these two, the bad diffusion and devil diffusion, which is the name of the algorithm, we named it like that, they can produce, instead of a cat, now they produce something completely different, okay? And this is the image we chose just to be fun. So we have also been working with this, and it's easy, as you see. It's not obvious why that particular noise is not producing a cat, is producing something else. We have also looked at small modifications of images, and here comes the face verification system. And we have seen that face verification systems can do serious mistakes. So the fun part, I hope this will not take too long, but let's talk about those face verification systems. So we have these systems in our phones, in many of our devices, right? They try to recognize if a person is the person they think it is. It's the same identity. Doesn't matter if there is a small change on the light or the clothes or the hair, or it tries to recognize me as me, right? When I try to get on my phone, to start my phone. So these solutions claim 99% accuracy on face verification task, which is confirming that an identity is, for instance, me, is really me. So with respectively of what picture I take, what image I'm using. So it shows that these systems work and we have used them. But are they secure? That's the question, right? And that's one of the questions we have been answering. So let's meet Alice and Bob. And we have published this research, but it's quite fun, not with these images, but with Einstein images, I think. So here's Alice and Bob. So we have Wonder Woman, and we have the physicist that I keep forgetting the name. It's quite embarrassing. So let's call him just Alice.
Degassi.
Sorry?
Degassi. Andrew Degassi.
Yes, Tyson. Yes. Okay, exactly. So we have, let's just call it for simplicity. Thank you very much. Alice and Bob. So clearly, Alice and Bob are two different identities, right? So how can we use those face verification systems to verify that they are the same identity or not? What can we do? So these face verification systems start with the identities, and they first do a face extraction. So face extraction is, I'm going to abstract on whatever is on the background of the person, and I'm going to extract just the face. So they start doing this. Okay, so we still have Alex and Bob, very different persons, right? Very different identities. So then at the next step, we are going to check the algorithm has a threshold that it learned to identify an identity as the same identity or not. So it's going to verify that threshold. It's going to measure the distance between the two images. In this case, the algorithm we are using at this threshold of 1.055, and let's keep that number there just for reference. So when we look at the difference between Alice and Bob, through this face verification system, we calculated, and it's 1.43. Okay, so the conclusion is we're good. Alice is not Bob, and Bob is not Alice. They are not the same identity. All seems good and fine, and we are okay. So can we, and this was the question we were answering, can we make Alice actually be recognized as Bob? So can we make Alice impersonate Bob? So we still have the same algorithm, the same decision threshold. We had the original distance between the two images. And what we tried in our algorithm in a very complex way, I can talk with you later if you want about how that works, but we forced the algorithm to do small changes to the face of Alice, so that it gets closer to Bob. So can we do that? So it happens that yes, we can. So this was the previous image, original image from Alice, and now this is a modified version of Alice. And now Alice is recognized and identified as Bob. Okay, so this is an alert, right? So it's almost not visible. So what about Bob? Can we make Bob be recognized as Alice? And the answer is, well, if we took it with using our algorithm, the answer is yes, we can. So for us humans, this is still Bob, that is still Alice, right? Two different identities, but now the algorithm is saying that they are the same. Okay, so I think the last one, which is quite amazing, is can we make the image from Alice to be not recognized, to be very distant from Alice? And we are using the same pictures, right? So the distance between the two is 0, right? Is 0. So when we do these small modifications on one of the images, we can get as far as 1.5 again. So yeah, they are identified by the algorithm as two completely different persons. They are very far apart. And here are the images. So we have been working a lot on attacks, but also defenses. We don't do this to make any harm on any system, okay? We just do it to prevent the systems from having these limitations. So this helps us to recognize that the systems do have a lot of limitations. Many of the limitations are not just the vulnerability to the adversarial attacks, which was what I was showing to you. They also depend on data, and they have bias on data. They have lack of explainability. We don't understand what's happening, why Alice is not Alice in that picture. So they are black boxes. They have generalization issues. They have many times no common sense or context for their predictions. They have ethical and privacy concern issues, and they also require a lot of resource for computing. So should everyone learn AI as a skill, as a future for a career? Yes, you should. So AI literacy is going to be essential. We need to understand these systems. We need to use them. We need to collaborate with them. But there are going to be several levels of knowledge. We are going to have awareness, simple awareness about those systems, what they can and cannot do. So that's very important. Another thing is the practical use. We need to use them and to use them as tools for our in our work, in our learning, in our courses. And finally, we have advanced, where we actually can design and deal with all these limitations that they have. So skills to be built in the future is going to be data literacy, critical thinking, and ethical reasoning, and also adaptability to be able to work and collaborate with these systems. So the risks are existential, or are they practical? So yes, there is some shift in jobs. There is some bias in decision making. There might be misinformation, and there are going to be definitely privacy issues. We are seeing them already a lot. But in the long term, we are going to see over-reliance on these systems without understanding their own limitations. Lack of regulation that we are already seeing, right? People trying to say it was not the fault of the company, it was the fault of the chatbot. Debates on superintelligence. So the biggest risk is not AI itself, but how we are going to design, to govern it, to use it, and to critically think about the AI outputs. Okay. So to finish, to wrap up, in terms just a quick conclusion, AI is changing life, work, education, careers, is impacting our daily life in all the aspects that we can think of. The humans will remain essential for many different reasons. So we are not creating a super intelligence, in my own opinion, that is going to be able to to rule the world or to take over our space. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but there are concerns and important concerns. So today AI is mainly used as an assistant, but people do need to think about it in a critical way. Tomorrow, the jobs will be shaped with AI in mind. So AI literacy is going to be one of the soft skills that we need. Everyone is going to need in their work. Even if you don't code, you're not a computer scientist, you will need to have that background to know which tools you can use to support you, not to do your own job, but to support you. So before we had a specialization as a desirable quality, a desirable skill for employees. In the future, these roles are going to change and new careers are going to emerge, and the skills that we are going to need are going to change as well. As just an overview for UOttawa, and with my students and at UOttawa, We try to have cutting edge research opportunities. We try to have more, because I teach AI, I'm in that field. So we try to have more than AI literacy. We try to give students the tools to actually think about AI in a different way, reshape it, and deal with several of these limitations. UR has a global mindset throughout international education, and we have a lot of international, a very big international community, but also we try to equip students with skills that allow them to thrive in in an AI-driven world. So I think that's my message. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I hope this was okay and not too fast.
Professor, that was amazing. This is a kind of mind blowing if you go in deep to the questions. That I mean, the essence of AI is it's very intriguing, right? So because we think about the possibilities and how we can constrain what we think about it, or how can we expand it. So it's quite intriguing. But I'm gonna start speaking in Portuguese because we do have questions.
Okay.
Eu vou, na verdade, aglutinar algumas perguntas, porque existem muitas perguntas sobre carreiras em particular, tá?
Uhum.
Mas eu vou tentar conciliar com os temas que você explorou, com as
Uhum.
perguntas que foram feitas, tá? Eu acho que a primeira pergunta eu vou substituir, vou juntar com as duas. A primeira pergunta seria: a senhora não acredita que IA, a inteligência artificial, será autônoma e poderá tomar decisões? E vou juntar com a segunda, porque está dentro do mesmo tema. A IA vai substituir os humanos até na criatividade?
São perguntas muito, muito difíceis, na realidade. Eu acho que substituir a parte de substituir humanos ou tomar decisões autonomamente, eu acabei de dar um exemplo em que nós pensamos que temos um modelo que é muito bom e conseguimos avaliá-lo e ele parece estar a fazer tudo corretamente, mas quando aparece alguém que ataca o sistema, as coisas falham e falham muito depressa e de uma forma que para nós, para um humano, passam completamente despercebidas. Portanto, é muito complicado, dizer que todas as decisões vão ser tomadas autonomamente por causa destas limitações que ainda existem. É claro que as coisas estão a crescer, mas estão a crescer o que está a crescer em termos de AI é a capacidade os recursos computacionais que estão a crescer, o espaço que nós temos, não é? Estamos a usar mais GPUs, as GPUs estão a crescer também, o espaço que nós temos nos computadores cresce, os dados crescem. Mas isso não significa que todas estas limitações, todos estes ataques não existam e não sejam possíveis. Portanto, é sempre preciso haver alguém a olhar para o que está a acontecer, a ter a certeza de que as coisas estão a correr bem e a testar o sistema e a controlar as coisas. Não acredito que muito, muito em breve haverá decisões médicas, por exemplo, completamente autónomas, com uma prescrição de um tratamento completamente feito de uma forma autónoma, sem uma supervisão. Criatividade é uma questão complicada, porque aquilo que eu mostrei no início, o primeiro slide, foi que a inteligência artificial usa dados como um algoritmo e aprende um modelo desses dados. Por isso, há casos, por exemplo, em que nós conseguimos ver o ChatGPT a reproduzir coisas de textos que foram usados para treinar e conseguimos obter quase o texto original que foi usado para treinar. Por isso, a parte da criatividade, como eu a vejo em AI, não me parece que não parece. Pode parecer ao público em geral que sim estão a criar, que a AI está a criar imagens novas, já vimos muitas aplicações desse género, mas na realidade trata-se simplesmente de usar dados que já foram vistos para responder a uma pergunta, a um prompt que pede um cavalo com um astronauta, com este tipo de coisas. Isso é possível porque viram um cavalo, viram um astronauta e, portanto, acabam por conseguir, de uma forma bastante boa, fazê-lo. Para mim, a criatividade continua a fazer parte dos humanos. Vi recentemente um livro, uma autora que publicou um livro e que disse, escrito por humano, portanto, não AI não criado por AI. E se calhar precisamos dessa parte para a parte de escrita de romances ou de livros, porque para mim, pelo menos, as coisas são diferentes.
Então, basicamente, o que você enxerga é que a AI vai ser uma ótima ferramenta, algo que ajuda, impulsiona os humanos nas suas atividades profissionais majoritariamente, né?
Sim, sim, quase como uma espécie de matemática com calculadora.
Ok,
Certo? Podemos fazer as mesmas coisas sem calculadora, mas se tivermos a calculadora, podemos usá-la para fazer as coisas mais depressa. A calculadora tem um controle sobre os outputs, é muito específica. Aqui temos vários AIs em vários sistemas diferentes, com dados que, portanto, é um bocadinho mais sensível nesse aspecto. A calculadora é uma visão simplificada disso, mas sim, vejo mais nessa perspectiva. Não vejo uma AI a escrever um Star Wars ou um Dune.
ok, ok. Aqui tem especificamente uma pergunta: para se salvar da inteligência artificial, devemos nos especializar em computer science, coding ou áreas relacionadas a AI apenas? Você mencionou no final os skills e competences que precisam
Uhum.
especificamente, mas se você optar por uma carreira voltada especificamente a AI, computer science, é algo que você possa, digamos, se defender
Eu
dessa área?
penso que sim, eu penso que ainda há muitas, porque uma das minhas, apesar da minha especialização ser em inteligência artificial, eu trabalho com muitas aplicações e trabalho com muitos alunos que acabam por ir trabalhar num hospital ou por ir trabalhar numa empresa financeira ou por ir trabalhar, como eu disse, em cibersegurança, há muita falta de pessoas e não é para fazer pen testing só. É para de facto perceber que algoritmos é que nos podem defender, que algoritmos é que podem ser atacados, o que é que podemos fazer em relação à privacidade dos dados, como proteger a privacidade, há uma série de questões que estão relacionadas com computer science, com a área de AI e que têm, no fundo, muitas aplicações e estão em high demand ainda.
Ok. Aqui tem algumas perguntas específicas sobre algumas carreiras para saber se elas estão em
Ok?
risco. Ah, eles estão perguntando aqui, eu vou selecionar três que eu acho que são as mais emblemáticas.
Uhum.
Estão perguntando se engenheiros civis, advogados e professores estão em risco com
Ah,
com essa AI chegando aí.
bom, vamos começar pelos professores, porque eu sou professora aqui na Universidade de Otava, não vejo a minha carreira em risco de todo. Acho que o, o- nós continuamos a ter aulas presenciais, a parte do Covid foi muito difícil para os alunos e para nós, mas foi difícil para todos. E o estarmos numa aula, o contacto com os alunos, o perceber questões específicas, o que é que aquele aluno não está a perceber para conseguirmos explicar e para que os conteúdos sejam bem compreendidos. Acho que não consigo ver como é que isso poderia ser feito por uma AI, sinceramente, para já. Ahm, as outras, engenheiro civil. Acho que a maior parte das profissões, mesmo que não sejam em computer science, porque a grande maioria das pessoas não vai trabalhar em computer science, vão ter que mudar as skill sets. Definitivamente, um engenheiro civil, há algum tempo atrás, usava uma calculadora, agora vai ter que passar a usar alguma coisa mais para além da calculadora e vai conseguir fazer mais coisas, mas vai ter de ser o engenheiro civil a tomar a decisão. Porque se houver também algum problema, alguém tem de assinar um projeto, salvo erro. Alguém tem de se responsabilizar se uma varanda cair ou não estiver bem construída, ou se o prédio não estiver com condições. Por isso, toda essa responsabilidade vai recair sobre os humanos, sempre.
E o advogado, você mencionou na tua.
Advogado, a
É,
mesma coisa, não é? Porque julgar fairness, julgar num processo, há tanta ambiguidade na parte legal, não é? Eles tentam, que não haja, mas na realidade há muita ambiguidade que acaba por ser necessariamente preciso, é preciso um humano para ser capaz de tomar essas decisões e de argumentar, a favor ou contra certo tipo de decisões. Mas a AI pode mais uma vez ajudar, porque pode agregar todo um conjunto de dados passados e fazer com que toda a tomada de posição, por exemplo, de um advogado, ou seja feita de uma forma mais rápida e mais fácil, não é? Pode agilizar a forma como ele vai lidar com todos os dados que tem sobre o caso e sobre casos passados que podem ser importantes. E, portanto, pode ser esse auxílio, essa ferramenta de auxílio para as profissões todas, praticamente todas, não vejo.
Inclusive, como você mencionou no começo da apresentação, talvez o paralegal seja algo que o AI possa alavancar absurdamente pesquisas, jurisprudência e tudo mais, que é algo bem braçal, vamos dizer, né? Algo que é
Talvez
produção de informação, né?
eu não percebi qual foi.
O paralegal, aquele assistente
Ah,
do,
sim, sim,
né?
sim, sim.
Esse talvez fosse mais afetado, né? Pelo fato de ser mais pesquisa
Sim,
especificamente.
sim. Por isso, sim, há sem dúvida, é quase como, às vezes eu penso um bocadinho na Revolução Industrial, não é? Quando aconteceu. Muitos empregos deixaram de existir porque começaram a ser feitos pelas máquinas, certo? Aí foi mesmo uma transformação diferente, mas outros empregos surgiram, não é? Porque depois era preciso tratar das máquinas, era preciso pôr as máquinas a funcionar, era preciso. E aqui acaba por ser algo semelhante, não é? Vamos ter mais uma ferramenta para nos ajudar. Portanto, tudo aquilo que seja muito simples de fazer, muito sistemático, muito automático poderá estar em risco, sim. Mas todas as outras profissões terão que ter esse extra skill para saber usar os tools de AI para suportarem melhor as tarefas que têm.
Perfeito. Acabamos as perguntas, um assunto que, na verdade, rende bastante, né? Nós podemos explorar uma série de avenidas aí, explorando a questão da AI, mas não é a nossa pretensão nessa primeira Masterclass, a gente dá uma geral, entender de uma maneira geral a base do AI e como isso pode interferir
Uhum.
na sua jornada acadêmica e profissional. E mais uma
Uhum.
vez, professora Paula Branco, eu agradeço demais a sua presença, né, os teus ensinamentos, a tua experiência, compartilhar com a gente né, essas visões, né, esses insights do teu dia a dia, né, onde você explora e que certamente ajuda, pelo menos, ao nosso público a entender um pouquinho melhor essa dinâmica que para todos nós que não somos de AI soa um pouco alienígena para nosso
Sim.
conhecimento. Te agradeço demais pelo teu tempo. E vocês estão assistindo e pegaram no final, essa apresentação ela vai ficar gravada na library, na biblioteca da CI do YouTube. E se vocês tiverem perguntas que não foram feitas, eu passei por todas em princípio, mas se vocês tiverem perguntas, mandem para a gente passa para a professora Branco e ela pode voltar para vocês a pergunta, as respostas em relação a isso. A Universidade Oral é parceira da CI, a gente trabalha junto, uma universidade incrível que a gente faz questão de apresentar e compartilhar, né, os conhecimentos e elementos da Universidade Oral. Professora Paula Branco, de novo, muito obrigado. Uma ótima noite para
Eu vou
você.
vou só interromper porque queria também dizer muito obrigada pelo convite e foi um prazer estar aqui e tentar, no fundo, explicar um bocadinho daquilo que eu faço e da minha perspectiva sobre a AI, para todas as pessoas que estão interessadas e que foram convidadas para ver. Muito obrigada mais uma vez pelo convite, foi um prazer.
Obrigado a todos. Tenham uma ótima noite. Espero ver vocês conosco logo em frente na nossa próxima Masterclass. Obrigado, Paula Branco.
Obrigada.